Not too long ago, about an hour and a half ago, news broke that Raheem Morris was the new Atlanta Falcon head coach, and Panic Peters started to pile up and collect even in our own live chat as everybody started to say, "I'm a Panic Peter. Hey, I'm panicked. I'm panicking. I'm a Peter." And then what do we say though? Patience. And then all of a sudden, about 5-10 minutes ago, maybe 20, your boy's been getting prepared for it. I did a little Instagram reel on it. About 10-15 minutes ago, Max, this guy Zack Morris, news broke. Offensive coordinator potentially landing in Atlanta. He's still got an interview with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's still got potential interviews, which might get canceled. You know how that goes. This man, this absolute gem of an offensive coordinator candidate, is potentially heading up things in Atlanta all the sudden, just like that. And I'll tell you what, Bijan Robinson with Zack Robinson, Robinson and Robinson should start their own firm. This is going to be amazing. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that the Rams QB's coach and passing game coordinator Zack Robinson is a prime candidate to serve as Raheem Morris's offensive coordinator in Atlanta. The Fantasy Football Show, everything changes. Everything changes right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
And just like that, all the fear turns into fairy dust. Poof, it's gone, it disappears, it vanishes, as we all say, hey, it's Bijan time, as he's about to go nuclear with this potential pairing of Zack Robinson, the Robinson and Robinson duo coming in strong, dropping it like it's hot. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, it's not a shoo-in yet, but let me just tell you something about the boys. Zack Robinson and Raheem Morris, you don't think they're going to try and do this thing together? You think Zack Robinson wants to go somewhere where he doesn't have the closeness and support of his broski? This is as good as done in my mind. That's why Adam Schefter says prime candidate. I wouldn't be surprised if other interviews got called off, or maybe there's a very, very quick interview and then a quick announcement, and boom. You know, like Slowick meeting with the Falcons, and then all of a sudden, right after they announced that Raheem Morris is their head coach. This is going to be a thing. This is going to be the absolute puzzle piece that puts this all together, because Zack Morris has been absorbing, learning, creating, innovating with Sean McVay in LA. With this amazing passing attack, Puka Nacua throwing to the RB, Kyren Williams thriving in the system that Zack Robinson will have Bijan Robinson in. I don't know that there's a better situation than this whatsoever. Deckard dropping a gifted membership. Deckard, appreciate you. I know some might say, Smitty, you're crazy. We'd much rather have this or that and the other. I'm telling you right now, I think the combination of these two is better than any of the scenarios we've even cooked up, because we get Raheem Morris, we get the potential vibe he can bring to this team, be a player's coach, and he gives the power of the offense. He gets the defense going. Raheem Morris, look, he's done great things in LA. We can't knock what he's done from a defensive perspective. And if this guy can delegate all of his duties in the offensive side of things, for the most part, to this man, Zack Robinson, who he trusts to do the job, who's done the job, had one of the most potent situations we've seen in a long time with absolute monsters in Puka Nacua, and a man that goes by the name of Kyren Williams.
He's Kyren, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron. He can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
And then you see the potential transference of that usage over to Bijan Robinson, who's going to explode. And we had some debates in the last live stream about an hour and maybe 15 minutes ago, all the way through the entire thing. And we had some different predictions of where Bijan could fall because of Raheem Morris. And I was flabbergasted, to be honest with you. I was sitting here scratching my head as a lot of my own live stream is like, yeah, he probably moves down to the second round. What are we talking about? Bill Belichick was almost a shoo-in, according to all these reports, to be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, and that would decimate and kick in the nutsack Bijan's value for 2024 to a degree. Like, we'd have hope that something could work out, and worst case scenario, he's running back 9, so I would expect running back 9 or better, even with Bill Belichick in-house in Atlanta in 2024, but that's not what we want. We want potential RB1 talk. And so, we would have dealt with it. We would have tried to weather the storm. We would have probably been a little bit biased, let's be honest. Real talk. We would have probably been a little bit biased and said, Bill will be okay. Gulp. Let's be honest. Let's be real. We're human beings. We probably would have swallowed a big gulp and said, yeah, it'll be okay, in a real high-pitched voice. Hey, honey, what do you want for dinner? Hey, Smitty, why is your voice so high? I don't know. Probably because I'm lying. We wouldn't have been happy about Bill Belichick. And here we have Bill Belichick passed over for Raheem Morris, and everybody's kind of freaking out because they think, what? The situation couldn't get worse than with Bill. I mean, it was worse with the pecking order goes Arthur Smith, Bill, and everything else above it. Now you got Raheem Morris, defensive mind. Smitty, how is this going to help Bijan? Well, how does it hurt him? Right now, we don't know how it hurts him. And to slow down and be patient. And what did I say? We probably hear something really quickly, potentially on something. And here we go. Literally, when I end the live stream, something pops right away. Zack Robinson, offensive coordinator, potentially here for the Atlanta Falcons for the taking. QB's coach and passing game coordinator is potentially coming in to say, who's my Kyron? Oh, there he is. His name's Bijan Robinson.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
And every single one of you Bijan doubters, I saw every one of you. Some of you even called into my phone line, started spouting off second round value for Bijan. And this is not locked in. I admit, I could be jumping the gun just a little bit. Maybe Zack Robinson takes the Steelers coaching job. Maybe I'm wrong on this. But if Zack Robinson swings on over to this Falcons job to coach with his boy, knowing, and think about it, he's getting all the support and power he needs. You don't go to some unfamiliar territory where you don't know anybody and you're trying to make your way and your job security's not there. Morris says, you got it. This is you. This is me and you together. Let's go do it live. And let's go do it live they shall. I feel so good about this. I'm not just trying to come in and make the best of it. I'm not trying to just gloss over it, glaze this thing as if it doesn't deserve to be glazed. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. And if this guy walks in and becomes the new OC in Atlanta and brings over the vibe, all the knowledge, all the potential offensive game plan thinking of how to get his quarterback, which he doesn't have yet. And if he wants to have a Matthew Stafford type vibe going on in Atlanta, which I fully approve. If he wants to have some kind of Kyron Williams usage out of Bijan Robinson, which I fully approve. I'm all about it. And I think the combination of two of the better minds in LA coming into Atlanta to clean house, redo everything from the ground up, take the top 8 overall. What was Kyle Pitts was what, pick number 4. Drake London was pick number 8. Bijan was pick number 8. You have 3 top 8 overall players in consecutive drafts, coming into this situation and getting misused left and right. And now you've got what I believe to be a key component. If Zack Robinson does in fact come over to this Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator situation and says, let's do it live. You have two key components to fueling Bijan into the next Kyren Williams workload. Kyren Williams' workload for Bijan means running back one, people. And if you doubt Bijan, if you doubt Zack Robinson, if you doubt Robinson and Associates, I'm taking away your Bijan card.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
I will not tolerate Bijan slander in this live chat. I am telling you this man is going to the moon. That's why he's a Saturn man and has been a moon man, has been an everything man for this channel for the entirety of his NFL career so far, and we're behind him.
The Saturn Men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Motion detected at the front door.
Look at him! Look at him! Look at him!
Spaceman.
We got Perps in the building tonight. We've got Ron Navy in the building. Ray G dropping a $5 hauler to kick it off. Ray G says, incoming draft. Who reminds you of the most of Debo? Ray, not right now. Ray, we're in the middle of Bijan. What are we doing, Ray? Ray, hang tight on that question. Ask it, or I'll go back to it. I'll leave it up there. But no, we're in the middle of this. We're not going there yet, Ray. We're in the middle of this. We'll hit that in a second. Look, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm gonna not finish with this. I'm going to start finishing with this, and it could take a very long time. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, thank you, Ray G. Appreciate you. And I'm coming to your question in a second. Maybe, I don't even know. I don't know if there's a Debo in the draft, but a lot of people think Neighbors might be that kind of guy. But anyways, there's no real Debo. But thank you. Appreciate your super chat. I'll come back to it. Zack Robinson, not yet the OC, the prime candidate to be OC. Clearly, Adam Schefter's hearing some things about, hey, we're going to see him go play and build with his boy Raheem Morris. And together, this is an invincible duo in my mind. Give them the kind of knowledge and production and success they're bringing right over. It does make you wonder what's going to happen in LA. I think they'll be okay. I think McVay is a big reason why they do what they do, how they do. I'm not blind to that. I don't think Zack Robinson's has everything to do with what goes on in LA, but he certainly learned, absorbed, and helped create everything that you saw unfold last year in LA. He helped do that. And if you ask me, I think Raheem Morris knows this man a little better than we do. And if this is his pick, and if he thinks he's going to bring this potential vibe and thinking and way of doing things into this offense, I'm all for it. I'm way more for it than banking on something else working out that we, at the same time, even if you say Ben Johnson's great, look at the Detroit Lions offense. How much of that is fully Ben Johnson too? Like you could say that about any OC, any QB coach, any passing game coordinator. And so at some point you got to say to yourself, this guy was good enough to be McVay's right-hand man. This guy was the passing game coordinator. You're not passing game coordinator and sit on your hands. He has a lot to do with what is going on operationally, day-to-day, personnel-wise. And if anybody's going to go get the quarterback that we need this team to go get in order to take Bijan to the freaking moon, it is Zack Robinson. It is Zack Robinson. Why is it Zack Robinson? Go watch a little Rams footage, if you will, and maybe take a look at how this passing game coordinator genius uses his RB.
He's Kyren, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
And might I add that if this man can turn frowns upside down with his touchdowns because of the amount of volume being fed to him, partly by way of Zack Robinson, guess what Bijan's going to do in 2024? Score touchdowns, baby.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring
Nothing's official. Make sure you don't lock this into your mind fully yet. Just know that I am pumped. I am amped. And the potential Bijan Robinson ADP droppage that apparently a lot of you thought at least an hour and a half ago was going to take place. This is on my own phone line. Like, I pretty much had pushback, I think, from every caller that he's going to be a second-round pick now. And I can't for the life of me even understand, even back then, an hour and a half ago, when this news wasn't here, how anybody thinks Bill Belichick isn't worse than Raheem Morris. Because with Bill Belichick being in the driver's seat, everyone thought, based on all the bogus news, for the head coach job in Atlanta, Bijan was still a top 7 overall pick. And then when Bill gets plucked from the running, and all of a sudden Raheem Morris gets shoved into the into the head coach job, all of a sudden Bijan falls to a second-round draft selection? I don't get it at all. I can tell you this, that no one's probably hyping this up like we are. So if, in fact, the world is concerned about Raheem Morris still inside the NFL circles, inside Twitterville, now known as X, if X is spreading all kinds of negative vibes out there, and they really do a lot of the time do that, and the NFL world, just the NFL population, the fandom, the fan bases, everybody, everywhere. In Schefter's example, go to Schefter's tweet when he said that Raheem Morris, this one right here. If you go to Schefter's tweet on Twitter, on X, you will go into the comments. You can see the comments right down below. There's 186 when I took the screenshot of this. 186 comments. About 80% of them were, oh, the Falcons are the Falcons. This is why the Falcons lose. This is why the Falcons suck. This is why the Falcons this. This is why the Falcons that. 80% of them were negative Noahs in there crapping all over the situation. And fantasy football minds who were excited for a brief moment knowing that it was not Bill Belichick in command of Bijan's fate, they start to listen to the negativity, even though it's drowned in bias and fandom. And people that hate the Falcons, and they're going to say negative things about the Falcons, no matter who the coach is. And if you let all that get toxic and infect your thinking, and you start, like some of the callers, no offense to, what was his name, Cabby or KB or Cabby, who called in, he couldn't give me a straight answer. I said, why do you think that this is a problem? Because I just think people draft receivers. I said, no, Cabby, or whatever his name was. Cabby, Rabby, Sabby, I forget what his name was. I said, no, Cabby. I said, no, Cubby. No, good buddy, Cubby. I said, no. Tell me why this news drops Bijan comparatively to where Bijan's value was when we thought Bill was the coach, and he couldn't give me an answer. No offense to him. I'm not trying to go at his take. I'm just saying everybody's not realizing the psychology. This is why I went to get a psychology degree for this moment right here, because I didn't use it up until this point. This show is the only thing that allows me to utilize my degree. I'm telling you right now, it's in infestation of negative thoughts, and everybody saying negative things is regurgitating it because they're hearing it, they're seeing it, they're reading it. Oh, Raheem Morris has got to be bad because Twitter says he's bad. Oh, the comments, 80% of them said he's bad. I can't for the life of me understand it. It's better than Bill Belichick. If this man, and Bill Belichick's better than Arthur Smith, if Arthur Smith can put Bijan in fantasy football prison, and he still finishes as running back 9, imagine what he would have done with Bill Belichick. And if Bill Belichick isn't the man and it's now Raheem Morris, and maybe Raheem Morris is only a level above Bill, I don't know. We don't fully know. He could crap the bed a little bit. He's still going to do better than when he's not used, like under the command of Arthur Smith, Planet Uranus man.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Do I have Arthur? Why is Arthur Smith not on here? Where's my picture of Arthur Smith when I need it? Where's Arthur Smith? Why don't I have Arthur Smith here? I'm going to have to find it. I'll get Arthur Smith on there. He's the king. He needs to wear the crown, not Watson. Watson's still on. He's like VP of planet Uranus. I'm excited, people. I'm excited. This man is going to do good work. This man's going to ignite the defense. This man's going to get the right offensive coordinator in place. It's not a sure done deal with Zack Robinson, but it is a done deal with Raheem Morris. This report here was an interesting one. Rams quarterback. Oh, this is the report here from Shefty. Rams quarterback passing game coordinator Zack Robinson will be a prime candidate to become Falcons head coach is Raheem Morris's offensive coordinator in Atlanta. Per league sources, Morris will want to speak with multiple coaches about his OC job, but Robinson will be a strong candidate. So nothing's locked and loaded yet, but prime candidate. It sounds like it's a very good possibility. This report, we talked about this earlier. Let me put this one up first. This one on Bill Belichick. There's only one team that interviewed legendary coach Bill Belichick, and that was the Falcons. No other known scheduled interviews were in motion or in place. Potentially, Bill could sit out the year and wait for an opportunity in 2025, which was crazy. And it just goes to show that Bill, it only takes one team to dance, but we'll see. And then this report came out. The Athletic says that ex-Patriots coach Bill Belichick is viewed as a long shot for the Commanders and Seahawks vacancies. So nobody wants to take a little stroll down memory lane with good old Bill. Not good old Bill. Bill ain't getting it done. Excited to the freaking moon. Bijan to freaking Saturn. Box score Bobbies can go ahead and say whatever they want.
All right, prepare for take one. All right, action.
He's a box score Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score Bobby. He's a box score Bobby. He's so sloppy. Bobby.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Here he is. Here he is. Arthur Smith is king of Uranus. He's king of planet Uranus, and he will remain there. And I don't think anybody will take his crown. He looks so proud. He looks so proud to be king. It's good to be king, at least in your own world. And on planet Uranus, he's king. With his, what is it? Ziggy, how many moons are around Uranus? Oh, my camera's out. Ziggy, how many moons circle planet Uranus?
Uranus has 27 moons, 5 major moons, 13 inner moons, and 9 irregular moons.
And off he goes.
27 moons.
Planet known as Uranus.
27. Let's hit these super chats real quick. Is my boy Ray G? Ray G, you still here? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not go straight into this conversation, but we were in the middle of breaking that, and I didn't want to sidetrack yet. Ray G, are you still here, Ray G? You know you're my boy Blue. I hope you're not offended by my detour. I'm avoiding all Steeler players now, says Ray G. What happened there, Ray? Ray, appreciate you. Ray, I don't know that there's a Debo in this class. I think really we want to talk about the next Debo. It's Jaden Reed. And it's not going to be the same because Debo's a big boy and he's hard to tackle. So it's not equivalent. But Jaden Reed, usage-wise, wide back-wise, running the ball 2, 3, 4 times a game, that's certainly in the cards for Jaden Reed. We'll have to see it like a Dunze or Neighbors or, I don't want Martin Harrison used like that. I don't know that Debo's like a unique bird, bro. I don't know that there's any other player quite like him coming out, and really ever, because it's a system as well. Like if he was somewhere else, I don't know that he would have developed the same way. I don't think Debo would be the Debo we know if he was in a different system. So kind of a tough one to really evaluate. Thank you, Ray G. Ray G to the moon. Ray G's my man. Ray G's a unicorn, by the way. Ray G, appreciate you. Smitty, with this news, I need to change my Barkley number. You mean where you rank Barkley? You mean because did you have Bijan below Barkley? If we said Barkley ends up in a better situation, what was the landing spot we were projecting for Barkley? We were saying the other night that if Barkley landed in the Chargers, in LA, if Barkley was a Charger, would he rank 4, 5, 6 for you in fantasy football? And maybe Perps might have put Bijan below him until he heard word. Now again, I want everybody to know this is not official that the OC is going to be former quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator, Zack Robinson. Zack Robinson. Robinson might be coming to a show near you. Just hang tight on that. But it feels like he's got a good lead and a good early jump on that job. Could Arthur Blank squash it or something? Sure. But man, I really think it's a smart move. I think continuity between two coaches. I think that maybe Blank might see that as an advantage. I think Raheem Morris is certainly going to see it as an advantage to say, hey, we bring this continuity over. We need continuity. You're ripping a coach and a staff from the team. Continuity's good. No, they'll agree. They'll gel. The defense and offense will gel together. It clearly does in LA. I mean, what a rip your heart out double shot for LA though, to lose both your passing game coordinator and QB coach along with your DC and Raheem Morris. This is awesome news for Bijan. Bijan to the freaking moon. Yeah, it's Robinson and Associates. Smith try and add Princess Crown to Watson on planet Uranus. I might try that. We might give him a princess crown, and we'll give the prince crown for the king crown. Prince Deshaun Watson and King Arthur Smith, if you will. Arthur, imagine Arthur as OC anywhere. God, if Arthur Smith is the OC anywhere, you better get scared. It's gonna be unbelievable. Okay, let's dial in. Appreciate all the super chats so far. Thank you, Ray G. Thank you, Perps, with a $20 hauler. Perps with a $10 hauler. Perps, I didn't give you your $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Perps, appreciate you, my guy. Bijan to the freaking moon. Bijan to freaking Saturn.
To Saturn.
I'll tell you, I'm so pumped about this. And the fact that this broke, right before the 8 p.m. show, and then that broke right before this show is perfect timing. Just great topic, great conversation, great debating, if you will, because there was a little bit of debating going on the phone line prior to the end of that show, the last show, the one right before this. And as I titled this video, everything has changed. And again, it's not for sure. It's not locked in. Appreciate you, Ray G. Thanks again. Superfish in the building. Kenobi's in the building. Where you been, Kenobi? We haven't seen you in a while. Everybody else file on in. Perps is first in the building. Travis, then followed by Ron, Smooth Criminal, Matt O, Al, Travis. Already said Travis. Perps, appreciate you, bro. Double A, Space Ricky, Blackbeard. My mod squad's in here. Space Ricky, Blackbeard. If I ever forget to mention Space Ricky as my mod, when I'm trying to list them off, for some reason, and this is not for any particular reason, Space Ricky, but for some reason, I always forget to mention Space Ricky and sometimes Sick Nasty, and I apologize for that. Those are amazing mods. Travis is awesome. Thank you all for moderating. Vamp is in the building here and there. I love my boy Vampy, and Blackbeard's in the house. Appreciate you all. Terry Roberts has been kind of MIA, but that's okay. He doesn't have to be here. But Terry, if you're out there watching a replay, we appreciate you. D Money in the building, Bob in the building, Huffman in the building, Superfish, Kenobi, like I said, Birdman's in the house. Let's go dial into the show if anybody wants to talk about Raheem Morris potentially getting his boy Zack Robinson on board as OC, and how amazingly effective that Los Angeles system, that Rams attack from the QB down to the potential passing to the RB. And you can't really screw up running Bijan, so I'm not worried about, how good is this guy in terms of running his running back. He knows how to throw to him pretty damn well. And I'm pretty excited about what Zack Robinson can do with a Bijan Robinson talent. What's up, Travis? You're live.
Hey, if this all goes to plan and he gets hired, this makes me a lot more excited and feel a lot better about them drafting and developing a quarterback. I know they could go and get a Kirk Cousins or something, but it makes me think they'd probably take maybe a Penix or a Bo Nix, or I don't know, maybe even try to trade up. I don't know.
What's the phrase? How different a day makes, or what's the phrase? How different an hour makes, man.
Right.
Unbelievable.
That's it.
I gotta restart Ziggy real quick. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think it's Bob in the chat was saying how he's kind of waiting to see what happens, because he says they have no quarterback, no offensive mastermind head coach, more mediocre safe stuff to make it look like progress. But I think maybe him and some other people may underrate what Zack Robinson can do.
Let me put it this way. I'm not saying I even really had much thought into it prior to knowing Zack Robinson was even interviewing or potentially interviewing with multiple teams. Obviously, he's going to Pittsburgh. Once we started hearing that, then it was an obviously, hey, that would be a good one. Like it's not on top of mind because he's not an offensive coordinator, and you typically pull an offensive coordinator to a head coaching job. But I'll tell you this right now: if this guy got a head coaching job somewhere, I wouldn't be shocked. Given how good this passing attack is, given how great Puka and Kyren both were, I know McVay has a heavy hand in it, but honestly, I believe this would be one of the biggest steals, this Zack Robinson to Atlanta as OC. This would be one of the biggest steal signings, probably only second to this Washington Commander Adam Peters GM move, which I think Washington absolutely, this is the steal of the offseason so far, is Adam Peters being ripped from assistant GM in San Francisco over to GM in Washington. This guy's a mastermind. But now Morris, coupled with Zack Robinson, I just think, man, this is I'm going to probably put a duo picture. Like, they're a couple. It is what it is. Like, you can make fun of it. You can say, it takes two in order to equal one. Harbaugh, you got Morris and Zack. I don't care. As long as the job gets done. And if you go with a defensive coordinator as your head coach, you kind of are going to have a couple that run things. And that's what you want. You don't want your defensive coordinator. And he has done some offensive stuff. Let's give him a little credit. Everybody's just acting like these guys oblivious to the offense. He's not. But when you hire a defensive guy as your head coach, it doesn't always work out unless you get the right offensive coordinator piece in place. And so you can't expect to feel like you feel about Harbaugh. I don't really care about the OC and defensive coordinator. We got Harbaugh. Here, you're like, crap, I like where we're going with the defensive side of this thing, but like now you need a very heavy hitter in the offensive coordinator place, because now you don't have what Harbaugh brings to the table in being an offensive, defensive, like kind of sum total mind. And so I think people are going to act like this is a makeshift coaching staff. And I love it. I love it. Bring all the ridicule, bring all the doubt, bring all the hatred toward Atlanta. And for everybody allowing the Twitter or X negativity vibe get to you, I urge you to stop reading all that garbage that is like based in hatred toward other teams, because it's fandom yelling at fandom. It's divisional, especially divisional rivals getting into an X comment section and thread and going at each other. It's like somebody, like you go into a Niner post by Schefter, hey, Debo's back in practice. You'll actually find people that say Debo's trash, Debo's no good, because these are rivals, like fan bases and rival fan bases going at, like, you can't look at Twitter. And I think that's where a lot of people came into this live stream an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago, when we broke the Morris news and started feeling like this was going off the rails already. When you don't even know what Raheem Morris is going to do. And we don't know that he's going to for sure hire Zack Robinson. But again, logic tells me that Zack Robinson's going to go with his boy. And logic tells me continuity is smart here. And logic tells me Robinson's going to feel more at home in LA than he's going to feel anywhere. I'm sorry, in Atlanta than he's going to feel anywhere. And he's going to feel more supported in Atlanta than he's going to feel anywhere. Like, how could he not?
Right. They're already likely on the same page. They're coming from the same system, and so they're kind of in sync with each other already.
They're in sync. Blank's going to want it for continuity. Morris is going to want it for support. This is probably a little bit scary for Morris to go back into. He's again a retread head coach. He's going back into the coaching world, or the head coaching world. And I don't know about you, but just being an honest human being, I think I'd want some familiar faces with me. And I think I would want to take this battle on with somebody I've gone to war with on the other side of things and say, I know we can do this together. I don't know if I can do it by myself. And that's why I think people will make fun of that. It's like a weaker head coach, heavier, hardcore offensive coordinator versus just, you don't even care the offensive coordinator. I bet you some Charger fans won't even know who their offensive coordinator is. It's going to be that kind of dynamic there because this is the be-all, end-all in Jim Harbaugh. But Morris and potentially Zack Robinson, I think, are going to bring a whole different dynamic to it. And I think it's going to be a very attractive landing spot for Zack Robinson and a very attractive get for Raheem Morris. So I don't know that it's going to work out. I'll be very bummed. I'll be so pissed off. I'll be honest. I'll come in here. I'll be pissed off. I'll probably not even want to do the live stream for very long if I find out Zack Robinson's elsewhere. But let me ask you a question. If you're and Ron Navy better put his earmuffs on and lock those babies on so there's no audio coming through whatsoever. But you tell me, Travis, where you'd rather offensive coordinate. In Pittsburgh, where you've got Kenny Pickett and God knows what else you're able to even bring in. And you have, I love Pickens, but he's kind of a head case right now. I love his talent. That's a phenomenal player to get. But you got a running back stable you can't make heads or tails of. Najee played very well. Let's give him credit down the stretch, but he's been a big disappointment for at least half of his career so far. You've got a head coach that it feels like he can't win those big games, and Ron will be the first one to tell you that this is not the coach he wants, and he can't win playoff games. Like, what sounds like a better place to go? Polarizing head coach who probably calls a lot of the shots that you don't get to call, or go play for a defensive coordinator head coach that's your buddy that's probably giving you free reign. Where are you going to go? Pittsburgh or LA? Now, is there another option on the table? Maybe. And we'll hear his interview docket very soon. But this man, I can almost guarantee you, is looking at Pittsburgh. Sure, maybe it's leverage for negotiation, contract, salary, all that. But he is going to 1,000% want to coach Bijan Robinson, get to choose who his quarterback is, and not be handed Pickett, which he can't do anything about probably. And so he gets to go into the NFL draft at number 8 overall and have his pick of whether it's Penix Jr., Bo Nix, or McCarthy. Some would say I don't really love that choice, but it's not a bad choice because McCarthy's efficient enough that I could say good. That's good for Bijan. Maybe I don't love McCarthy for London as much as I would a Penix Jr. or anything like that. That's neither here nor there. That's a whole different conversation. But you give me the number 8 overall pick. You give me Bijan Robinson. You give me Kyle Pitts, the number 4 overall pick in his draft class. You give me Drake London, we all think's a top 5 to 10 wide receiver if he just gets the volume. You give me a pretty strong defense with a defensive coordinator mind that I trust very well to give me the field position I need. You tell me how this isn't the best landing spot out of all the landing spots possible for Zack Robinson. So if Zack Robinson gets to pick his landing spot, how in the hell is he going to say no to this one? This is the most ideal landing spot in the National Football League for Zack Robinson. Without a hesitation, without an equivocation, without a stutter. I'm speaking very clearly about it. Mute yourself if you could, Scott, because you got the background sound there, pal, please. Scott, mute yourself, pal. Thank you. Okay, so I got a few people on the line here. Let me go to Andrew first. And Travis, real quickly, if you have a rebuttal, then Andrew, then Ron Navy, then Scott.
Yeah. So the one good thing I was going to say is when it comes to coaching, if Zack Robinson got a place, head coaching offer, he might take it, but you also have to be careful where you take your first job. And then on top of it, Raheem Morris, I know some people are kind of saying, he didn't do too well his first time around, this and that. Well, that's true, but a lot of these guys, they only get 2 cracks at it. And so he's going to want to have guys around him that makes it successful this time, because if you fail a second time, you may not get another chance to be a head coach in the NFL. So these two guys may be thinking we can help each other out here, Robinson can get more prepared for a good head coaching spot, and Raheem Morris can have guys around him that help him succeed this time around.
And Niner says no matter what coach Atlanta hired, Smitty was pumping up Bijan. Not true, though, because I've been very, very candid about Belichick and how it's a wait and see. Like, I did a live stream literally like less than, a couple days ago, if it wasn't like 48 hours ago, my days run together, where I said, look, I'm going to be pausing and pumping the brakes until we know who the quarterback is, but it's better than Arthur Smith. But in no way, shape, or form was I saying that Bill Belichick is great. It's just kind of like, guys, before we completely pull the plug, we need to understand his ADP is going to be affected. If Bill Belichick was the coach in Atlanta, and that was announced today, Bijan would drop and plummet into the second round easily, like some of people thought would happen with the Raheem Morris news, which I totally disagree with, especially now with the Zack Robinson news. Although, I don't know how astute people are to this information. That's why you watch this show, because I think a lot of people might not be reacting as powerfully as I am, and I could be wrong. I could also be jumping the gun if he does go to Pittsburgh or go somewhere else, but I'm willing to take that risk because I'm letting everyone know the risk is there. I'm not going to feel ashamed of myself if my gut instinct here, my passion for what this is probably going to look like at the end of it all, is wrong. Because as I said before, I was dead wrong on that I thought a team was going to scoop Lamar Jackson up in a millisecond when he was available on the lower tender for 2 first-round picks. And I was wrong, but I know I was right. I was right in theory, I was right in logic, but I was wrong in thinking that an NFL team was smart enough to go get Lamar Jackson, let alone nobody was smart enough. I thought 3 or 4 or 5 teams would be fighting over it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm using logic here, and Zack Robinson hates Raheem Morris because something happened last week we don't know about. Anything's possible. But all I can tell you right now is that if Raheem Morris is choosing between situations, and he leaves the fact that he's tied to Raheem Morris, the continuity between the two, the cohesion, the ability to trust each other, have each other's back, know each other, know that their systems will fit together perfectly. Like, if all that doesn't matter to you, what should matter to you is the Bijan, London, and Kyle Pitts and the number 8 overall pick to solve your quarterback problems if you don't get Justin Fields in an aggressive trade, which is still on the table. And with the guy that loves his quarterback so much and throwing the football in Zack Robinson, it wouldn't surprise me if he went aggressive and said, you know what, screw the number 8 pick. We'll get a conditional pick back somewhere to make it not so much of a heavy hit. Let's get Justin Fields for the 8 overall pick. Chicago would take it in a heartbeat because they'd have the 8, the 9, and the 1. They could have, if they wanted to, offensive linemen, Marvin or Brock Bowers, or I doubt they get Marvin Harrison this late. So it would be Neighbors, Bowers, and Caleb if they wanted it. But it would probably be offensive linemen, Neighbors, and or whatever. It would be Caleb, and maybe they go to a defensive piece and an offensive piece. Whatever the Bears do, I don't know. I can't predict what they're going to do. They're very, very different than my thinking. But regardless, you could easily turn this into Fields if you want, or you solve your problem with the quarterback. You know what you have when you go other places? You don't have, and maybe he gets an interview somewhere, but you don't really, like Washington would be interesting if they were to offer him a head coaching job, but you're probably not going to see a passing game coordinator and QB coach get a head coaching job in Washington. You're not going to see that happen anywhere else, really, and I don't see any other positive, landing spot for him unless Harbaugh tried to bring him in and he just loved Harbaugh for some reason. This is it. You get the number 8 overall pick. You have Pitts. You have Bijan. You have a defense. You have London. You have a defensive coordinator mind that you trust. It's a match made in heaven. Absolutely made in heaven. All right, hang tight real quickly. Go to Andrew, then to Ron Navy, then to Scott. Andrew, you're live.
Hey, Schmitty, how are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm flying.
I think you're better than good. You're about as fired up as I've ever heard before.
We're doing it live.
I love it. Hey, look, I'm a big Bijan believer as well. And let's just say the coaching carousel goes the way we're thinking about. Is there any? As far as I know, Tyler Algier is still on the roster. Are we worried at all that he may still vulture a little bit off of Bijan? I'm curious about your thoughts, because right now we're just talking scheme and everything, but I'm thinking personnel here, and is Tyler Algier still a bit of a problem for us?
No. Everybody needs a backup, bro. He is a backup running back in the National Football League. Arthur Smith called him one of the best goal line backs in the league. Arthur Smith is a complete, stooge. And nobody believes that. Everybody knows. There's memes everywhere in the Atlanta Falcon community that says the head coaching job interview application had 3 boxes on it. Will you run Bijan Robinson? Check mark yes or no. Will you throw to Drake London? Will you throw and utilize Kyle Pitts? And will you get a quarterback? There was 4 of them on there. Everybody knows that this has been botched the entire time. And a guy that coached Kyron and a guy that fed Kyron. I mean, look, I understand that he was the quarterback's coach and he was the passing game coordinator, so he didn't necessarily have free reign or decision making over how much or what the workload divide was between Kyron and the slew of running backs there in LA.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that he is used to having one running back to design plays for or to utilize. So you think that he's going to go away from what he's used to, working like a gem? Maybe, but probably not. You know what I'm saying? This guy, regardless of who made the decision, had Kyron Williams functioning as a top 1 to 5 running back in the National Football League for his part in Kyron's offensive contributions. So there's very, very high likelihood, in my opinion, and I could be wrong here. And yeah, there's a lot of speculation and guesswork on my part here, but that's what I do here. This is not a show where I have all the facts all the time. I am a talking head of sorts. I admit that, and I am fully aware of that, and I'm fully okay with that. I'm here to not just entertain and throw mud at the wall, is to entertain with the passion that I truly feel about certain topics. And I think we resonate together as a community in that. And so maybe I'll be wrong on some of this. Maybe he'll take another job. Maybe he won't even leave LA and wants to work his way up there. Maybe he's got some promissory note like Mayo did that he's going to become the head coach when Sean McVay steps away. There's a lot of things we don't know, and I admit all that. But all I can tell you is the logic laid out, which doesn't always happen the way that you want it, tells me that this guy is going to clamor over playing with Raheem Morris, coaching Bijan, and he'll use Bijan like he used Kyron, and like his offense, some total use Kyron, because he's used to dealing with one running back. And God, it would take a complete imbecile to watch what happened last year, walk in and see this guy and hear everything about him, see him, know him, watch film on him, and not say to yourself, I'm going to utilize this guy like Kyron. You'd have to be an imbecile. And I don't believe Zack Robinson is an imbecile. Plus, bro, they share the same last name.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Are you going to sit somebody named Andrew? If you're coaching Andrew?
No.
Hell no is the answer to that. All right, hang tight, Andrew. Mute yourself real quick. Yeah, hang tight. Mute yourself real quick. Ron Navy, you're live.
Yeah, time to bust your bubble a little bit there, brother.
You're not busting my bubble. You're just gonna dig a bigger hole again.
I don't think you've done all your research on Zack Robinson. I don't think you know all there is to know about him.
Why? What is it, Ron?
Well, let's see. Do you know who drafted him?
Do I know who drafted him?
Yeah.
Tomlin?
No. He was drafted by New England. Then he went to.
I'm trying to get where you're saying. Okay.
But you know what college he came from?
No, Ron, I haven't done a full background check on him. I'm not
Guess
totally.
what college he came from? He came from Oklahoma State. Who else came from Oklahoma State? Mason Rudolph. And if you're a coach, and he knows Mason well, he knows Mason very well because he preceded Mason. He was the quarterback Mason replaced. They were on the team together. And if you're a coach, and if you're looking for a job, would you rather go? Yeah, I don't like Tomlin, but if you're a coach, would you rather go to a team where you might have several years of being able to coach and move up the ladder, or would you like to go to a team that you get 1 or 2 years maybe, and then the head coach is fired because he's failed before and he has a chance of failing this time, or and
Ron,
you're gone anyways,
Ron.
and you're looking for another job. This
Ron.
whole thing about you, no. You're like, he's great. He was a wide receiver. He wasn't a running back coach ever. All right, so you don't know how he's going to mix with the run there in Atlanta, but we do know he was a wide receivers coach and a quarterback coach. And if he sees a chance to work with Mason Rudolph, who he believes in, where do you think he's going to choose to go? I mean, he could go to Atlanta, but that's not the only thing there where he could go. He could easily go to Pittsburgh.
I know that, Ron. He's a free man right now, but I laid out the reasons why I think they're very, very.
And I'm laying out my reasons.
I don't pull this
And
out
they're
often,
just
but
as
Ron,
strong as
all
reasons as
honey.
yours.
Ron, but will you agree? Will you agree? You are a contrarian lately. Everything I say, you are, Ron. Every show I do. Hold on. Every show I do now. Ron, every show I do now, you pop in and the first thing is, oh, I don't agree with that. It's
because I'm disagreeing with you because he was set to be interviewed by Pittsburgh first. I told you that. And now you're making him want to go to Atlanta all of a sudden and don't know all the facts behind
all of a sudden, the facts about Rudolph? Come on, Ron. Rudolph?
Dude, there's a report. There's a report.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I can't. What did you say, Travis?
I was just saying he's not making him want to go there. There was an actual report.
Yeah, not willing it.
Possibly going there.
Making him
go
there.
He's being interviewed going there.
You're going there.
He's being interviewed
now.
in Pittsburgh, too.
I wish I had that kind of pull over Zack. If I had that kind of pull over Zack Robinson, he'd be in Atlanta right now.
Where's your mashed potatoes?
Belichick's the one that drafted him originally.
Ron. Oh, Ron.
No, it's serious. It's true, Travis. Travis, you know that to be true, right? 2010?
Yeah.
Who did you guys draft?
Yeah. He drafted him, yeah. I'm not sure why that matters that much, but
Ron, you are entertaining me. You are entertaining me tonight. That's for sure. Like, I do appreciate that part. But Ron, you've been on fire today with
Ron's
these.
Man, when you start bringing out the Steelers and Ron Navy, shut your ears. And
That's
close
okay.
Your thing
That's
and
where
all
this is coming from. Then that's
you
where
brought
this is.
on yourself, buddy. Tell me you didn't know that as soon as you said that.
But
you
Ron,
were
I was saying that
egging me to call it.
I knew this was coming from somewhere. I knew it was coming. You're either defending the Steelers or you're contrarian though lately. That's 100% the case.
No, I'm
it
defending
is.
The Steelers. Of
It
course
is
I'm
the case
defending
though.
the Steelers.
But why defend the Steelers here? This doesn't make any sense. Like none of this is. I didn't bring it upon myself. There's nothing here there's no substance here. Like I get what you want to happen.
They're not getting
but Ron,
they're not getting rid of Tom. They're not getting rid of Tomlin, even though I want him to. But he needs somebody opposite the way he's thinking, and Robinson is one of those guys.
All right. Well,
you just gotta do like I do with the Patriots. Just lay in the dirt until they do something worthy, and then get excited.
Seriously, if you're going for a job, if it was you, Smitty, if you were going for it, would you go for a chance to only coach a year or two in Atlanta, or would you go to a team that knows where you're going to have probably a job for several years?
What makes you think? What makes you think I would? Well, first of all, let me answer the question and say I have faith in myself that I wouldn't go and fail, Ron. Number two, I would go to the place where I feel like I was set up the most for success to work with a guy that I had huge success with on the other side of the football. I'd also go to a team that had more talent because that would lead me to success. And I feel like you would go to a situation if you're the QB coordinator, Ron, the QB or the QB offensive or the QB coach and the passing game coordinator. You would go somewhere where you have a say in who's your quarterback. You get a clean slate, a number 8 overall pick, and probably free reign. So he's going to play with Pickett and Rudolph.
Which he knows Rudolph very well. So if he goes there, who do you think is going to put up the and they always battle for the
Come on, Ron.
Ron,
you're wearing a Steelers goggles that are thicker than I've ever seen in my entire life.
Can I ask?
Come on.
No, he's got.
Can I ask you a serious question, Ron?
He knows me.
Ron, can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuinely serious. Do you really think Mason Rudolph is a quarterback of the future anywhere in the NFL?
I don't know. Because you know what, he actually has progressed since 2 years ago when he floated the ball and he was inaccurate and everything else. But
I think we
don't know because the Steelers haven't had an offensive coordinator, a good offensive coordinator since Arians and Cowher developed Big Ben.
Okay.
Tomlin walked into that whole situation.
All right. Look, number one, you believe in Pickett, not Rudolph. So I don't even know how to digest any of this. But let's just say, I can tell you right now, the chat does not agree. Nobody really cares about Rudolph.
Of course they don't agree.
No,
they don't like Pittsburgh. They're
but
not
Ron,
Steelers
it's
fans.
logic.
Of course
Ron,
they're gonna do that.
you have
They always
blinders
do that.
on. You have Pittsburgh Steeler blinders on.
Just like
So
the
much,
Niners.
so much so that
I
you
don't
hold
want to
on.
see the
You
forest
got
from the tree.
Ron. You got blinders on so thick, so much so that you took offense to my Steelers. My Steelers take. My Steelers take about why would he want to go? Why would he want to go and be under the thumb of Tomlin? Because you think there's job security when he could. You don't think he believes in his talents to say, let me go do it on my own and not go sit under Tomlin's thumb? Just because you tell me I'll probably be there for a handful more years? Why wouldn't you have faith in yourself that you could go do it?
Who knows? How do you know how well they got along?
Okay.
On the Rams.
I already said are there moving parts to this, and I even used that example. Like, do I know if maybe Zach Wilson, hit on Morris's wife, and we don't know that happened last week. I already said that. Like, there's all kinds. There's all kinds.
You're saying one side of it. I'm saying the other side of it.
Ron, you're doing all this. You're
No.
doing all this because I said something negative about the Steelers and it pissed you off. Let's just admit it. That's why you're doing this. That's the only reason.
No. You said something because you knew I would call it.
No, Ron, I'm not plotting my content around you, Ron. I'm coming out to talk about how there's a report.
And I'm talking
Ron,
about it too.
Ron,
but you make it sound like it would be a terrible thing for
Ron,
him.
there's a report. Ron, there's a report that there's a report that Zack Robinson's going to interview with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not me just coming out and probing and picking at the Steelers and saying, how can I piss Ron off? You act like I'm planning my content around you. There's an interview with the Pittsburgh Steelers next. And my answer has nothing to do with anybody watching the show. I'm here to deliver my take and my passion in what I do. I'm no offense. I don't mean this in a negative way, but I'm not plotting to say something to offend you. And that's in my being conscious of your feelings about anything negative toward the Pittsburgh Steelers had me saying at the front, Ron, put your earmuffs on, because I wanted you to know this was coming. Like, I know you weren't going to put earmuffs on, but I'm just saying that was me trying to tell you you're not going to like what I'm going to say. And it wasn't me just trying to poke at you. It was me warning you what was coming. I think that was me trying to do my best to say, Ron, you're not going to... That's me being cognizant of it. But I feel like it's like no matter what... Okay. Let me go... Let me go over to... I know you do. Anything Steelers, you're going to have a different take on, and that's fine. That's fine. But no one believes in Rudolph. No one believes in Kenny Pickett. Nobody. Nobody wants to go coach those guys.
You were 100% right when you said, I don't like Tomlin. I wish Tomlin wasn't there. You were right.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
I agree with you.
Okay, Scott. Scott's waiting patiently. Scott, what's up? Everybody else hang on the line. I'm not mad at Ron. Ron and I will argue. It's not like I'm pissed off at Ron or anything. Ron does come in and like I said, Ron, I'm just being open and honest. I'm always honest on the show. I feel like you're a little contrarian. I do. I mean, I could go around the phone line right now. I think every single person on the phone line, not just because I'm pressuring them to say it. People were arguing with me about Bijan's ADP on the last show. So people don't just agree with me to agree with me. But I think everybody here could say it's contrarian. Everything lately has been like, no, this is how you're wrong on a take. And I'm just like, I don't know what else to tell you at this point. Like I'm trying my best to work with you here, but this is how I feel. And I appreciate the other take, but I know you're taking it real personally because I took a shot at the Steelers, but I mean, I'm not gonna back off how I feel about it when he's going to interview with them. I'm not just trying to pick and choose and probe you and say, oh, this is gonna piss Ron off. Steelers have nothing to do with this. Can you imagine if he went to the Steelers? Boom, boom, boom. He's going to interview there. He's going to interview there. I had to speak to it. He's not going there.
He's going to Steelers before Atlanta.
Go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry.
Okay, look, I got a question for you. How long has this guy Morris been defensive coordinator with the Rams?
His tenure was quite a while. Let's ask Ziggy. Ziggy, how long did Raheem Morris coach in Los Angeles? I don't know if Ziggy's going to know this one.
UserToday.com. Morris, 47, has spent the last 3 seasons in Los Angeles, helping the team capture a Super Bowl in 2021.
Okay.
He definitely put together a good defense for a couple of years.
I mean, he didn't. Well, no, he didn't do that. The defense, the Rams' defense, the last 2 years has not been a top 5 defense in the NFL. Smitty, come on now, okay? Let's talk about this for a minute, because he got fired from Tampa.
Yeah, as a head coach. As a head coach.
Okay, as a head coach, yeah. No. Then when he got promoted to defense coordinator, first he did okay for 1 year, but then they fell right back on their face again. So I'm not too sure that this guy is some Johnny come lately. You know, I really don't, man. I don't think it's the right coach.
Keep in mind, though, that the part of excitement that got ignited wasn't that Raheem Morris was the head coach. It was that Zack Robinson's being rumored to be his OC. That's where this whole live stream and positive turn took. So I'm not saying I doubt Raheem Morris. I'm saying Raheem Morris wasn't the piece that turned this into a holy crap, this is going to be an absolute monster LA situation in Atlanta. This is going to be a very, very potent.
Who's to say that OC couldn't have come in with Bill Belichick being one of the best?
Who's to say he did? Who's to say he didn't?
In the NFL, if he come in as
we could play this game. We could play this game with every coach.
With the same offensive coordinator, that's a hell of a lot more strength than what this other guy's got.
We could play this game with every coach, every OC.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Because Bill Belichick is a defensive mind. He is the defensive mind.
Well, you're gonna have a lot of people. You're gonna have a lot of people that disagree with you that he is not the guy for the job. That Bill Belichick does not know what he's doing anymore, and he can't put together an offense.
If he would have had the same, I'm just saying if he would have had the same offensive coordinator as what this other guy's got,
but he wouldn't.
I don't know.
But but like Travis said, you don't know that he would because these guys coach together, bro. There's like a rapport there.
From what I hear, one of the big problems with Belichick is he wants to bring all his own guys in. So I just wanted to.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that because that was with the Patriots.
Scott, you also don't know. Scott, you also don't know though. Travis doesn't know. You don't know. You can't say Travis doesn't know. Travis knows pretty well what's going on in New England, and there have been reports he would want to bring in his own people.
That was the talk today. That's all I'm saying. For 4 hours.
We need to wind the clock back.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Andrew? Andrew?
I think we just need to let it play out.
Was that Andrew? No, that was Scott. That was Scott.
I think we need to let it play out, see what happens.
Anything else, Scott?
No, that's it, man. I think we just need to let it play out, see what happens.
Well, of course we need to let it play out, but this is a prediction.
I do have one thing, if possible.
Who said that?
Andrew.
Andrew, go ahead. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate the call. Go ahead, Andrew.
I don't mean to be a negative Nelly here, but you were pretty high on Bijan coming into last year from Arthur Smith, track record of running the football.
Yep.
And saying Bijan's going to be a big part of it. What's to say something like that doesn't happen again?
Nothing. You have no guarantees in life, bro. You have no guarantees with coaches. You have no guarantees with evaluation. You have no guarantees that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be elite. You have no guarantees that Bijan's going to do what we thought he was going to do last year, this year. You just have your track record. You just have, so in this case, the show, the history of what we do here. I mean, people are the ones that judge that when they watch the show, decide to come back. And so nothing. No one has any sort of, you can only do your best to project and predict. And in the case of Arthur Smith, he ran the ball insanely well the year prior. Best running team in the National Football League. And anybody that says it was easy to see Arthur Smith's unraveling or misuse coming, they couldn't. Because he had done so well running the football the previous year with a much lesser running back. How it got all unraveled is still beyond me. No one even knows why Arthur Smith decided to use Bijan that way. He's an idiot. But the fact that they ran the ball so well, it was very telling. It was an amazing landing spot. It still is. It was just a bad use of Bijan, and he still finished his running back 9 when he essentially was a backup running back for the majority of the year.
Question.
Yeah, so I mean the answer is there's no guarantee of anything, bro. I mean, look, Jahmyr Gibbs, if you want to equate this to something, Jahmyr Gibbs was one of the most touted players on this channel. No content creator pumped up Jahmyr Gibbs and Breece Hall more than I did. Guess who started off really, really badly last year? Both of them. And guess who finished number 3 in running back scoring? Breece Hall. You know, Gibbs is phenomenal. Everyone's calling him the number 1, number 2, number 3 running back. So, yeah, I got the beginning part of this Bijan thing wrong. I don't think we'll get the sum total of it wrong. It's a slow start in similar equivalent fashion. The slow start to Breece Hall last season is kind of just a more elongated, slow start to Bijan's career. And I wish I had answers in retrospect as to why Arthur Smith crapped the bed and misused him, but I'll be honest with you and tell you I didn't see it coming, but no one did because the numbers were amazing. The numbers were there.
I agree.
All right, appreciate you, Andrew.
Zack Robinson, if you have a chance to coach in the NFC South compared to the AFC North, you'd be a fool not to want to go to the South.
There's that. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I mapped out. Are there other potential reasons why he would want to go somewhere else? Like Ron said, Ron's point of would he want to go where he thinks he could have long-term job security, he'd still have to deliver though. Like if he went and did badly for Tomlin, he'd get fired. So I don't know that really holds too much water. But to Ron's point, maybe because the head coach has been in place for so long, he feels like it's more stable.
He's kind of grandfathered.
Like yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. I'm saying you could use all these different things. These are all predictions. These are all guesswork. Nobody knows. Everything I mapped out, I was very clear about it in the beginning that it's not official, and this is me speculating as best as I can. And I could be 100% wrong. I even put that out there in the very front of this. I said I was wrong on Lamar. I said that when Lamar was franchise tagged, I said he'd be gone within days. I said there'd be 4, 5, 6 teams clamoring over Lamar. I said teams would be going, what? On the phone. We didn't even want a QB. He got the lower tender of 2 first-round picks. Get on the horn and make it done. I was wrong. Logic behind this is very sound. I could be wrong. That's the nature of the thing All right. Hey, later, Andrew. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
All right. Let me see. I got a super chat here. Hold on a second, guys. Perps with a $20 hauler. Perps says, I'm very disappointed in this chat. 107 watching, only 54 thumbs up. After the entertainment you've had so far, we have 54 thumbs up. Perps is not happy. Punch the thumb up button. Perps, thank you for the $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
All right. I'm going to go back to Ron real quick. Ron, how you feeling now?
I feel fine. I've always felt fine.
Where's your ranking of Bijan now? It was 15 when you started the live stream. You say you were joking, and then you moved it to 10. Now with the news of maybe Zack Robinson being in the mix, you got to, judge for yourself whether you think he goes to Pittsburgh or whatever. Does this move the needle at all, or are you completely, and it's okay if you are, I'm not going to ridicule the 10 ranking, but are you holding strong on 10 until you know for sure what's going on with the quarterback situation or the OC or both? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'd like them to have their coaching situations set, know who's going to be doing what. And then, yeah, I mean, if I agree with the coaches that are being hired, especially the offensive, then he'll move up, of course.
Travis, where do you rank Bijan with everything you know now? The unknowns, the likelihoods, the unlikelihoods, the concerns, the upside. Like right now, you have to rank the 2024 redraft top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8 running backs. I don't need you to list them all off, but where's Bijan fall?
Yeah. 3 or 4.
Okay, so you're not.
Him and Gibbs either 3 or 4.
Now, did he move up slightly coming off of the Zack Robinson buzz, or did you have him there anyway? I'm just curious. Because this is buzz. It's not.
I haven't moved him really. I think no matter what, unless something negative happened, I was going to have him at 3 or 4 anyway. CMC, Breece, and then Gibbs and Bijan.
Which is, it's crazy because like the majority, not the majority, but like a big handful of the chat coming off of the previous live stream when we had no idea Zack Robinson was even in the mix, but we had just heard that Raheem Morris was hired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach. We had a big wave of people, and the phone line was littered. Like almost everybody on the phone line, if not everybody on the phone line, said that Bijan would fall into round 2 now. Until something else happened, and if it didn't happen, he would stay in round 2. Ron said round 3. And I was like, I had my arms up in the air during the live stream. I'm just like scratching my head because he increases in value with Raheem Morris because Raheem Morris is not as bad as Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is concerning. Bill Belichick is a worry. Bill Belichick comes with a whole lot. Well, what if he doesn't do this? What if he doesn't do that? He can't seem to value quarterback position very well. There's a lot of concern. So the moment it wasn't Bill, Bijan's value in my mind went up right then and there with the announcement of Raheem Morris. Even if Raheem Morris brings in a good offensive coordinator, but it's not, let's say, Zack Robinson, and we're like, okay, I don't really know. I feel like okay about this. I don't honestly know too much about him. I know he's in a good spot, but we don't know what hand he had in this and what hand he had in that. He didn't feel like Zack Robinson necessarily to us, but I would still be like, okay, I'm drafting him. Maybe he drops to my like 6-7 overall in redraft. 6-7. Not talking dynasty. I'm talking about redraft. He was 4, 5, 6 for me before the Morris news, and now Bill's out of the picture. And then all of a sudden, everybody's dropping him to round 2. I'm just like, I was scratching my head the entire live stream. I still am. I don't get it. I don't get how we aren't looking at Raheem Morris's question marks better than we were looking at Bill Belichick's question marks. How did Bijan go from 5-7 with Bill as the threat of head coach to now Morris with now Zack Robinson, and now he's a second rounder? It's not going to happen. And Ron, we debated this on the last live stream. You said you said put it on the board up here that Bijan would go in the 3rd and 4th round on best ball drafts on Underdog Fantasy. I think that there's no way.
But last week you were saying that Belichick does good with the running backs.
Yeah, I mean there's some positives to it that we'd have to wait. With Belichick, other than that, not with the running back. If the right quarterback was there, I said. If the right quarterback was in place. If the right quarterback was in place, Stevenson had some good success under Bill. And so that needed to be accounted. That needed to be accounted for. It still would. Even if let's say Raheem Morris, it was botched news. Bill Belichick's the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. We're gonna have a mini depression, little freak out session, and then we're gonna come back and say exactly what I said on the live stream you're talking about. That I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket with Bijan until we know what is going on. I would draft him in one league, but I'd only draft him in 1 out of 4 at his ADP because I don't know that Bill is going to screw this up or not, or do well with it or not. We don't really know. If he brings in, he's a horrible judge of quarterback. What?
Ramondre, even in Belichick's crappy offense that he had with a crappy quarterback, Ramondre still was getting plenty of catching ability.
Again, I said Stevenson had success under Bill. Like, it has to do with quarterback for me, and that could change, but I don't know what this has to do with it. What I'm saying is, how did he go down from... Are you saying that you like Bill better than you like Raheem Morris?
Well, my point is, people know Belichick. They don't know Morris. They don't know Morris from other than failing his first attempt at being a head coach, and then being on the defensive side of them. They don't know what he is going to bring offense. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you're saying that you think a majority of people feel it's a downgrade than from what Bill was. That would be news to me. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if the average person... I think what it is the negative feedback from the coaching hire. I think most people are just listening to everything being said about it, and then they just believe it. Like, Twitter is blowing up with how dumb the Falcons are for making this move. They had 14 interviews, and this is what they decide on, and everybody's reading it, and they're just reading it, hearing it, reading it. And I'm not saying Raheem Morris is the best coach ever at all. I'm not saying that. And I even came live and said, I don't know how I'm feeling. I like it because it's not Bill. But I don't know. It depends on what happens. I even said, if I had 4 leagues in a row, I'm not there yet with Raheem Morris being able to draft Bijan in 4 straight leagues and putting all my eggs in one basket, going balls to the wall and being a maverick in 2024. I'm not there. I admitted it. I would take him in 1 out of 4 drafts. If I had the number 3 overall pick in 4 redrafts side by side drafting tonight, and let's say Raheem Morris is the coach, and he is, and we don't know who the quarterback is, we don't know anything, I would not take Bijan in the 3 pick. If let's say CMC and JJ are both off the board, I would take Bijan in 1. I would take Gibbs in 1. I would take Breece Hall in 1. I'd take Kyren in 1. I would take all 4 of those guys if we're talking RBs, and I would mix it up. That's with Raheem Morris. I was very, very honest on the live stream before this one about, and I'm still honest about it. But I said that. Now, Zack Robinson is getting me excited to the point where I might potentially do this in 2 of the 4 leagues. The only thing that would make me not do it is I'd be so bummed not to have a share of Kyren, not to have a share of Breece Hall, and not to have a share of Gibbs. So in the end, I think I'd still divide it up. But I'm just telling you that my excitement with this news has me amplifying my expectation a lot. And should this come true, and should they talk about we're drafting a quarterback, or we're going to try for, or we hear buzz about them trying to get Justin Fields, I don't know, man. I'm going to get so thrilled. I'm going to have to create 2 more leagues just so I can have more Bijan shares and still have Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Kyren Williams, and just to make sure. Like that's the mentality I'd be at. I just don't know how other people didn't get to at least a positive place with the Raheem Morris news. But hey, what you say makes sense. I could understand if somebody did feel that way. I didn't feel like the general population would view Raheem Morris as a worse option, even a more concerning option, or just a question mark option over Bill. You know, given Bill has been botching the quarterback position over and over and over and over since the absence of Tom Brady. I don't know. It's crazy to me. I got 2 super chats here. Thank you, Perps, for the. Is this Perps another one? Perps dropping another one. Ron, if Draven's old lady X gets hired as the OC in Pittsburgh, what are your rankings for Harris? I don't know. I don't think Ron's entertaining that one, Perps. Perps, thank you for the $20 holler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Perps,
the fun thing about
Perps
the offseason, though, to me.
It is fun.
We're debating right now, and we have different feelings about different things. But come time for, after the draft comes, we're going to have different feelings and different takes on all the teams, different than what we're having right now. And then when the season comes next year, we're going to probably have even more different.
You know what take I disagree with very strongly that you had though tonight? Like probably the one I think is the most confusing to me was when you said you'd rather have Najee over Bijan right now.
Of course, I got to play to my home.
So you're placating me then?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Of course.
Okay.
Would you expect me to say anything else?
No, Ron, you sounded very serious on the last live stream. I'm just gonna say.
Dude, I always.
And it's okay. And it's okay if you felt strongly at the time. I just think you sometimes have blinders on that are so thick that I don't know. Especially when it comes to Steelers. Superfish says, want to shout out more team. Ford Field is selling out to watch the NFC Championship game being played in Santa Clara. Superfish, thank you for the super chat. And that's fantastic news. That's fantastic news. That's kind of cool.
Over the Steelers sites, people are wanting to bring in Russell Wilson or Fields. They're talking about bringing in Russell Wilson or Fields on the Steelers site. I'm like, no, we don't need butterfly guy. Imaginary high five man.
Ron, I don't know if you want to hear this, but I'd rather have Russell Wilson than Kenny Pickett.
I know you would. That's fine. That's your take, but I don't want him.
That's why Atlanta getting Russell Wilson feels pretty decent. Atlanta trading for Pickett would make me very depressed, or trading for Mason Rudolph would make me very depressed. I know you like both those guys, but I think Russell Wilson's not too bad to add to an arsenal like Drake London, Bijan. Now, would I rather have Fields? Absolutely. Would I rather have Michael Penix Jr. than Russell Wilson? Probably. However, there's pros and cons to both. I mean, Penix Jr. could fail. He could get hurt. Russell Wilson's at least proven to be a good quarterback, but I don't know that he's great anymore, but maybe he would be great again. I don't know. At least he'd be way, way more effective and efficient than what was going on in Atlanta. I mean, I think in some ways Russell Wilson started to play well, and he kind of got the raw end of the deal in Denver. Like, they started to write him off while he was doing well. They started to tell him he needed to take away his injury clause and stuff while he was playing well, and they kind of messed with his head. Like, that's not easy to play with when your team is like literally telling you, hey, I know you're doing better now and you're playing really well. We don't trust you. We would like you to rescind your injury clause. Okay, see you on the field. Like, part of me felt like that had something to do with it.
He was brought in prior to Peyton getting there. They
True,
paid him
of course.
kind of like the same situation that, when the Browns got Mr. Massage Man. But, I mean, not as much money, of course, but Peyton is stuck with him, and he's not Peyton's type of quarterback.
Perps, come on, Ron. The chat is built on thinking ahead and trying to have a bold predictions. Thank you, Perps. Appreciate your super chat, pal. Perps is dropping some knowledge tonight. And on that note, where is Draven? I don't know where Draven is. All right, Ron, anything else? I'm probably going to jump tonight. We'll be back on probably Rumble later tonight. I'll do Rumble live stream. If anybody's not following me on Rumble, here's the Rumble link right here. Subscribe to my Rumble. We'll be talking, I imagine we'll be doing some stuff talking about this too, just because it's such a hot topic. And then I'll be on the Dynasty channel. Maybe we'll do a Dynasty mock draft. I hear the ADP data has been updated on a few platforms, so maybe we'll try out a Dynasty mock draft on the Dynasty channel. I'm going to try my best to do a Dynasty live stream and do a Rumble live stream. I'll try my very best tonight. Anything else, Ron?
Oh, no. Hey, that thing you told me earlier, you want that to be a surprise, right? So I shouldn't say nothing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
All right, Ron, thanks. Bye.
All right, later.
All right, Travis, any final thoughts? Man, Ron really got my blood pressure up tonight. Not in a necessarily a bad way. I don't mind arguing and debating, but good God, that went 8 different ways to Sunday on both live streams. And I know, Ron, don't take offense to this. I know Ron's saying he was trying to just rile me up. I think some of it was rooted in truth. And then I think you let some of it get out of hand with the Steelers stuff. But this went all over the place. And no one's asking anybody to come in here and fib your ranking of, Bijan or whatever in the middle of the breaking news. So that's why I was a little confused by it. Ron got me riled up, but it's a heated topic, and I knew. Look, this is the part where Ron says you knew that was going to piss me off on the Steelers talk, but like that's the thing is like I am, talking about an honest topic, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, oh God. Ron, you're going to get pissed off here, so put your earmuffs on. I'm even thinking ahead for you. But it's like, if I say anything negative about the Steelers, it's just the blinders come on. Ron, he's going to come in and he's going to be like defending Pickett and Mason Rudolph like Karate Kid defended his girl's honor in the karate championship. The funny part is, like, Pickett's his guy, and now he's defending Rudolph. It's just any Steeler quarterback.
It's just the Steelers.
Which one is it, Ron?
Someone needs to.
Who's your quarterback?
To the Steelers. Let them know he's their number one fan.
I do appreciate.
That from him.
I do appreciate Ron. I'm not mad at him if anybody thinks that, we're not talking anymore or something. It's just,
I admire that passion, to be honest.
Yeah, he's blind as hell, but like, yeah, it's a love for a team that I'm not afforded that ability to be that passionate about a team because I'm doing too much, middle ground stuff, talking about teams in a way that doesn't have bias involved, and so you start to like desensitize yourself to like your fandom, like I've desensitized I still am a big Cardinal fan, and I love the Bills, and they're probably the two teams that I root for the most, but like I have diluted my passion for being a super fan, and it kind of sucks for me. It's kind of like, you could say like almost like an actor doesn't love to go watch movies probably as much as somebody that's not an actor. You know what I mean? Like they get desensitized by it a little bit. All right. Anything else, bro?
I was just gonna say, I realized that I grew up being completely spoiled watching the Patriots. I think they won their first championship when I was 12.
Yeah, you
so
got spoiled,
through my whole teens and 20s. So I feel like I can't be one of those people that yells and like gets really worked up because I almost don't have a right to. It's like I gotta enjoy what I have and hope they do well in the future. So. All right, I'll see you in Dynasty or Rumble or whatever.
Yep, Rumble and Dynasty tonight. I dropped the Rumble link. I'll drop it again already. Ray G, appreciate you being here. Appreciate Jaime. Superfish, thank you, Travis. Travis being a mod. Hob G in the building. BW, Al, Perps. Perps been dropping fire all night. Perps says, Steelers Nation, let's ride. Has a good ring to it coming out of Wilson's yapper. Let's all say it loud for Ron. Wilson, Steelers Nation, let's ride. Can you imagine Russell Wilson going up to the podium? Steelers Nation, Blue 32. I've got 7 imaginary friends with me at this press conference, and we're all going to say it in unison. Steelers Nation, let's ride. Russell Wilson, cringiest guy in the NFL by far. Mr. Unlimited. Mr. Limited is what he is. He's limited, but I think he's way better. He's way more unlimited than Ritter or anything that we can cook up outside of Cousins, Wilson, rookies, and Fields. Rookie QBs, Fields, Cousins, and Russell Wilson. Not in any particular order. Just saying those are the solutions for a potential Atlanta Falcon quarterback situation. And part of, again, why I think this man, Zack Robinson, is coming here to Atlanta is because he has a lot of ability, he and Raheem Morris, to go grab their quarterback of choice that will fit in Zach Morris's scheme, which is coming over from the Los Angeles Rams, and you get a little Puka, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams type of offense. I'm all for it, and that's why I'm excited. That's why I'm amped. That's why I came in hot with the live stream. So, Perps, appreciate you dropping the $9.99 hauler. Thank you. Guys, I'll see you all on Rumble. Again, here's the link one more time. Rumble, please subscribe to me or follow me on Rumble. It's all going to be exclusive Rumble only made content, and we're going to try and go live. I'm going to try and go live on Rumble once a day. I'm sure we'll be talking Bijan. Normally, I try not to replicate all the content and just make it a boring, regurgitation. But this is such an awesome topic and so much. There'll probably be a few updates or something as well. So I'll see you all on Rumble, and then I'll be on the Dynasty channel as well probably tonight. Maybe we'll do a Dynasty mock draft. I hope I have time for both of them. The Dynasty channel link is right here. Make sure you're subscribed to my Dynasty YouTube channel. It's a completely different YouTube channel. You can always find all of my channel links. These are the 2 links right here. YouTube.com/TheFantasyFootballShow. That's what you're watching right now. And YouTube.com/DynastyFantasyFootball. Any one of my channels, if you're on my Dynasty channel or if you're on my redraft channel, or not redraft channel, main channel, and you scroll to the bottom, you'll see all my channels there. So you'll always be able to find the other one if you're on the other one. So all you got to do is just open up the YouTube app, go to the Fantasy Football Show YouTube channel, scroll to the bottom of the main page, and you'll see the Dynasty link right there. Just click that Dynasty channel load it up. Turn notifications on, but just subscribe right here using this link. Again, here's the link for the Dynasty channel. I'll see you all later. Bijan to the mother freaking moon. Let's go. Atlanta Falcons country. Let's ride.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
We took your Bijan card away, Ron.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
See you all later.